created, what he created was a nest of spies. He would take the new Catholics, and they were now allowed into the higher levels of European society. They were now Christians, and he would take advantage of this, gather facts, gather rumors. He would muck up countries and stir up the people, and he was a real troublemaker, but he ran out of money. All the histories of Jacob Frank say that around 1778-9, the organization was, miraculously well-founded. But in 1780, there wasn't a penny to be found for Frankism. Now, what happened, and by the way, all the histories say the same thing, that in 1785, Jacob Frank moved his court to Frankfurt, Germany, and became extremely wealthy. By 1786, Frankism was suddenly a force with money. Now, you have to look at Frankfurt, Germany in 1785-6 and see who was there. You have to know it was the conspiracy capital of mankind, was Frankfurt. Also in Frankfurt was Adam Weishaupt, the founder and leader of the Illuminati. Also in Frankfurt, and this is the one who joined the Illuminati to the Sabbateans, was Mayor Amschel Rothschild. That's where his court was, in the ghetto of Frankfurt. Now, Rothschild, I looked up the family history to try and make sense of this. Rothschild was not wealthy then. He was a coin trader with ambitions. After this meeting in Frankfurt between Jacob Frank, Adam Weishaupt, in, I believe, the home of Mayor Amschel Rothschild, it's a little tricky to narrow down all the facts, but everything changed for the world. Rothschild just wanted to make money, and he had 5 ambitious sons who came up with the very right conclusion that if you control a nation's finances, you control the nation. It was a brilliant conclusion, but you need money for that. Adam Weishaupt had only one goal in life. That was to get, the immediate goal was to get Christianity back to Rome, wipe out the Eastern Orthodox Church, wipe out the Protestants, have them in constant revolution, wipe out their royal families, the works. That was the Illuminati. Meanwhile, Jacob Frank had the same awful goal: infiltrate the Jews and turn them into Sabbateans. It was the same goal as the Illuminati goal, but against Jews. These people met, and, the triangle that we call the world conspiracy, the New World Order, whatever names people call it, it was at that meeting, that first meeting, that the world changed for good. From this point on, you had revolutions everywhere.
So what you're saying is it was this Jacob Frank and the Sabbateanism, because of the nature of the religion, they were both evil and had agents everywhere that had already infiltrated so many different things.
At times they worked together. At times they worked at cross purposes. The Illuminati, again, is the Vatican. Now, you can go all over the place and say It's not the Vatican. It's the Black Pope. It's the Jesuits. It doesn't matter. It's the Vatican. The Sabbateanism that became Zionism. That it became labor Zionism, and that was extremely bad for the Jews. Now, there's a history which we can skip or not skip, and that is how the movement grew and how its influence spread and this stuff. Or we can go just to the point where Sabbateanism becomes labor Zionism. Remember, Zionism was a perfectly good movement of national liberation of the 19th century for a lot of people.
Well, let's start about the 1880s then. But if you could first kind of give some of your books up to this point that have explained some of the things that you've already talked about, and then where people can get them, and also your website for people who can get your newsletter, because you apply a lot of this research to your newsletter as well. So if you can kind of give some of that out.
May as well. If I haven't got your listeners lost by now, they may as well go looking. My books. Now, in this case, the book that I wrote about Sabbateanism primarily is Shabtai Tzvi, Labor Zionism, and the Holocaust. And it's a really good book, available at lulu.com. That's LULU.com. There's a little search box. You punch in books and write in my name. CHAMISH. That's Chamish, and you'll get to my books. My latest one is The Compromised Land, which finishes with a tremendous flurry of Sabbateanism. So those are the two primary books, Shabtai Tzvi, Labor Zionism, and the Holocaust, and, The Compromised Land. My website is barrychamish.com, www.barrychamish.com. If you want to get on my website, there's a little thing that says Contact Barry, contact me, and from website you'll go onto news list. I think we've handled that.
Yep. Okay, and also for you can get their newsletter and all that stuff there too.
Well, yes, the newsletter. Well, it's pretty big. It's a few thousand people read me every time I write something, so I guess it has some purpose. And a lot of sites put up my material. So the word is kind of out, but nobody understands what I'm talking about. Now, Sabbateanism, I got my information from the two experts in the world living right now. One was Rabbi Marvin Antelman, who wrote the famous To Eliminate the Opiate about Sabbateanism. A very well-known conspiracy book. It's rated on all the conspiracy lists as one of the most influential books from that genre, and it's about Sabbateanism. And Rabbi Antelman used to phone me every week. He would have troubles with the real world. He couldn't understand the direction Israel was taking. Well, he phoned me for advice. So that was certainly an important source. And also I had a history professor from Oxford University, Avraham Ehrlich. Professor Ehrlich gave me tremendous research. So, it's not cockamamie. These are very, very good scholars.
If I could interject too, there's a great deal of information on it. There's a lot of information on it. It's not like something that's just, impossible to find information on Sabbateanism or Shabtai Tzvi, or it's out there. It's pretty recently. And also, I would mention on Rabbi Antelman, that guy is Jordan Maxwell, who is a conspiracy. Is an anti-Semite really, but that he uses so much of like Rabbi Entelman. He says to people that Rabbi Entelman told him, whispered to his ear that the whole Jewish thing never really happened. It's all a big myth, and there really was no King David, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, he did not.
He did. He does. He says all the time.
No, he can say that all he wants, but I know Rabbi Entelman now 30 years, and I know him intimately. And that is complete falsehood.
Right. Well, I addressed it a little bit in the Jordan Maxwell debunked video that I did. But anyway, so continue where you're going there. Just want to interject.
How could he even make a statement like that? Rabbi Entelman is an Orthodox rabbi. All right. Well, then you've got to really not take Jordan Maxwell terribly seriously if he's prepared to lie like that. Rabbi Entelman is a religious Orthodox Jew who very seriously takes Judaism, and what he's worried about is Sabbateanism has infiltrated Judaism and created an atrocity for the Jewish people, and that's to eliminate the opiate. You have to understand the motivations that I certainly share with Rabbi Entelman, but all kinds of other people. We're trying to save Judaism from something that has wormed its way inside our fiber, and we're trying to get it out because, first of all, it's extremely rotten and it's no good for the Jews in general to have this Sabbateanism wrapped around our necks. And, well, the motivation is to clean up Judaism, and nothing more, nothing less than cleaning up Judaism, and it's for preserving an Israeli state that isn't run by these Sabbateans. Okay, that's the motivation for my work. Well, part of it.
Right. So let's start off from the 1880s. What do we need to know?
Well, what we need to know is, first of all, Zionism began. Now, it began again in Germany. But, oh, Lord, we have to, you're asking the big story of what happened to the Illuminati in Germany. It was discovered during the French Revolution, is what the history books say. And the Illuminati was banned, and they moved to London. They infiltrated British Freemasonry, and we're skipping over, the real, how they spread the conspiracy worldwide. We haven't touched on that. How this little triangle, Illuminati, Sabbateanism, with Rothschild money, spread this philosophy worldwide. I guess I just...
Well, let's do that. Do that.
I covered it. To get to the bottom of that, it takes a long time. Let's just say that it's now spread worldwide. The key of the Sabbatean issue is Germany reestablished itself in London when the Illuminati were banned. And all these Sabbatean, and remember, don't mix up Illuminati and Sabbatean. They're two separate issues. I'm talking to Sabbateans now. What they did to dilute the Jews, they wanted to get rid of Judaism, and their first means was dilution. And if you look at American Jewish religious movements, they're all, they start in Germany, they establish themselves briefly in London, and then they're off to America to thoroughly dilute Judaism and take people away from their religion. The Reform movement, the conservative movement, they were all deliberately founded to, ultimately, to rid the world of Jews through assimilation.
So let me clarify. As the Sabbateans infiltrated, they created schools and things like that to kind of teach this new version of Judaism. But were the Jewish people buying it? Were they changing?
There were no schools. I mean, what you had were the Reform really preaching a non-spiritual Judaism where God didn't even play a role, and that is the majority of American Jews. It has nothing to do with Judaism.